Good morning. I'm Anna Marie de la Vega. Thank you for joining us. Today, it's Focus with Interpretation Director Megan Rust from the Frist Art Museum. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi.
So what is Interpretation Director, Megan?
So I'm part of our education team at the Frist Art Museum. I work with our curators on our exhibitions. We like to think of ways to make our exhibitions exciting to audiences of all types. Mm-hmm. I also oversee our public programs, and I work with our volunteer docents who lead our tours of the exhibitions and the galleries.
I can see we'll have to move the microphone. She's speaking with her hands, and she about knocked her finger off just a second ago there.
Sorry, I'm a hand talker.
That's fine. That's fine. So that's a lot of coverage right there. That's a lot that you do. Interpretation Director, has it always been called that? Has that title always been around and we just didn't know about it?
I like to think that I'm a behind-the-scenes person, kind of helping a lot of things happen at the Frist. So we've had an interpretation position for a while now.
Yeah.
It's had slightly different titles, but I've been in my role since 2020.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. And so you've been like just interpreting all the beautiful art that is there to us.
Yes.
So we get to understand it. So we get some education about it.
Absolutely. That can be through the text on the walls. It can be through something like an audio tour or live interpretation with our docents, or even programs offer different ways to look at our exhibitions through, our participation.
Okay. And now I noticed there was a name change a while back it was the Frist Center for the Cultural Arts, and now it's the Frist Art Museum.
Yeah, it was a Frist Center for the Visual Arts.
For the Visual Arts.
Yeah. And then in 2018, we changed our name. So we did a little bit of research, and also we had a lot more tourists coming into Nashville. If you think about the 2010s when Nashville was really taking off, we realized that people didn't really know what an art center was. And so we surveyed people and found that people were really referring to us as the Art Museum. And so we just changed our name, made that little adjustment.
Yes.
And I think it fits.
I think that's very good. That's a very wise decision. So let's talk about what the Frist is about. Maybe give us some history, because it's been a part of our community for a very long time.
Absolutely. Well, the building itself actually started as the main post office in downtown Nashville. It opened to the public in 1934, believe it or not. And it's a gorgeous building. So if you haven't been, come for one of our architecture tours and learn more about the history of this stunning landmark that's in our city. It's got an amazing Art Deco interior, and it really tells a lot about the history of our city.
In what way?
In what way? Just thinking about the Great Depression. It's right next to the Union Station train station, thinking of it as a place downtown where people of all types came to, people always come and tell stories about, I got my first passport here, or I, waited in line to drop off my tax return before the deadline. And it just really has been seen as this hub in downtown. But in the 1980s, Maine postal operations moved out to near the airport because most of the mail was coming in by airplane instead of by train.
Right.
And so the building was largely empty. And so in the 90s, there was this visioning project in Nashville, the Nashville Plan, and leaders from across the cities came to the table with ideas about how we can take Nashville to the next tier of cities. That's when we had a new public library open. The Tennessee Titans came, the Predators came, and the Frist family had an idea for an art museum in downtown Nashville.
Yeah.
And so this building was largely empty. It was seen as this place where anyone could come because it was a former post office, and they led the charge on opening the Frist Art Museum. We opened to the public in 2001. We don't have a permanent collection, so you may have been to museums in New York or in Chicago or bigger cities where they have art that's there all the time. Our exhibitions change every 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
So if there's something that you're maybe a little less excited about, check back in a few months and we'll have a completely new slate of exhibitions for you to enjoy.
And the range of exhibitions, it just varies widely.
Absolutely. We've shown everything from like ancient Greek, Egyptian, and Roman art to contemporary art from around the world. So our mission is to show the art of the world from all times. I think we've shown art from every single continent except for Antarctica.
Wow. Show the art of the world from all times.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I feel like I saw the Chinese soldiers, the terracotta soldiers. What were they made of?
There are terracotta soldiers. I don't think we've shown those, but we have shown Chinese art. We just had recently an exhibition, Journey Through Japan, that included Hokusai's Great Wave, that famous print of the, the wave. And we've got art on view right now from Venice and the Ottoman Empire. And we'll soon have an exhibition of American quilts. So the variety is really, really fun, and there's always something for everyone, I think.
I think that's very cool because it's art, it's beauty, it's someone's interpretation of it. It doesn't have to be something that's gilt and that's golden and has diamonds in it. It can be a quilt.
Yes.
Because that is beauty and that is art.
Yes. And they tell powerful stories about our history.
Yeah.
And artists are really doing incredible things to push the medium. It is called Fabric of a Nation, American Quilt Stories from the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. It'll run through October 12th.
Okay. So you can get in there anytime and check that out.
Yes.
But if you hurry, then you can see, what is it from...
Venice and the Ottoman Empire is an exhibition that shows 4 centuries of objects from these 2 Mediterranean superpowers, the Republic of Venice and the Ottoman Empire. It's really looking at their artistic and cultural exchange between the two. Between the two cultures.
What kind of things would we learn?
So we have over 120 objects in this exhibition, everything from paintings of Venetian doges who were kind of the leaders of Venice and Ottoman sultans, to beautiful glass and ceramic objects, even textiles. And we're really hoping that this is a multi-sensory experience for our guests. So we've done everything from when you walk into the exhibition, you'll hear the sound of waves to really transport you to the Mediterranean Sea. Cool. We have an interactive scent station in a gallery that explores spice trade. So we have a display of spices, and you can actually smell some of the scents that you would have smelled if you were visiting a market during that time, perhaps.
Whoa, that's nice.
We have a video with 2 local chefs, Ilyas Bakla and Chef Paulette Lecitra, and they are discussing the culinary exchange between the 2 cultures. There is a takeaway recipe card with their recipes on it, so you can take that home and make delicious food in your own kitchen.
That's amazing.
And there's also some Fortuny textiles that you can touch, and a lot more to experience.
Fortuny?
Yes. So Fortuny was a Spanish artist, but moved to Venice and creates stunning textiles inspired by Venetian textile traditions as well as Ottoman textile traditions. And Fortuny still exists today. So we actually have some Fortuny items you can purchase in our gift shop, stunning pillows and other objects that you can take home.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. And so you called it a what kind of...
A multi-sensory experience.
Multi-sensory experience. I really like that because that's very valid. The feel and the taste and the smell and the vision. And what about music?
Music. So
I know you do have live music.
We do have live music. So we've just brought back our very popular Music in the Cafe series. So before COVID, we did it every single Thursday and Friday. We've been doing it intermittently the past few years, but we're excited to share that it is back every Thursday night in our cafe cheesery. So recently, the Grilled Cheesery has opened a really amazing cafe in our space.
Yeah.
They have fun specials on Thursday night. The food is really good. We hope that you'll come out and hear some live music. We've got a really eclectic range of musicians coming throughout the summer. Grab a bite and come see our exhibitions for a fun night out.
What would be the most cost-efficient way to see these things? Do you buy like a Thursday night pass? What do you do?
So you can buy a ticket to visit us, but really the most cost-efficient way is to become a member.
Yeah.
So we have a range of membership options for all different price points, including a free membership now called our Explorer membership. So if you meet certain income requirements, you can sign up as an Explorer member and come for free anytime.
Wow.
Yeah.
Explorer member.
Yes.
That's very good. And I like the fact that the Frist Art Museum is really pulling out all the stops to make sure that art is accessible.
Yes. And kids have always been free under 18. So 18 and under.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something to do with your family, maybe it's a rainy day, maybe it's too hot to play outside, come down to the Frist because we have really fun engaging exhibitions for all ages, as well as our Martin Art Quest interactive space, which has...
Yes, here we go. I love this.
Yeah, so we have an art making space on our upper level called Martin Art Quest, and we have art making activities for all ages, from our smallest visitors even through adults. Everyone can find something to do in Art Quest. We have activities right now that are inspired by the Venice and the Ottoman Empire exhibition. So you can create your own gilded paintings.
Whoa.
You can create shields inspired by Venetian and Ottoman shields that are on view in the exhibition. Venetian-inspired blocks for our littlest visitors, as well as, picture books inspired by the exhibitions. And that's all in addition to our regular stations, such as printmaking and animation. So there's really so much to do there. You could spend the whole day.
I remember years ago going to the Frist Art Museum, and I saw Art Quest, and I thought, maybe that's just for the kids. And I wanted to go in there so badly.
Well, it's for all ages.
I'm happy about that.
We see everything from, little babies to grown adults.
Yeah.
The activities are really designed so that, they can be made accessible for younger people, or you could make them more complicated if you're an adult wanting to spend more time. So it's a really fun space.
And you mentioned the Doge.
Yes.
First, I was reading it, and it said something like an outfit worn by a Doge, and I thought it said dog at first. I was like, wait, what? But tell people what is a Doge?
A Doge was the leader of the Venice Republic. So it was an elected official known for the portraits that we have in our exhibition have these opulent capes that they wear, and they have this crown that is a horned crown called a corno.
Wow.
And so you'll see that on the banner on our exterior, a portrait of an older man with this horned crown on, and he's the Doge. We actually, have an example of a Doge's crown in the exhibition in addition to the portraits. And then in Art Quest upstairs, we have a mannequin with a Doge-inspired outfit that you can sketch in our drawing in the round station.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Was it the art and the textiles from that era and those areas, were they luxurious? Were they
absolutely
like silks and velvets?
Yes.
And what were they at that point?
Beautiful brocaded silks. We have a section that explores these luxury textiles, and the patterns are beautiful, inspired by nature, flowers and other organic forms. And the exchange between Venice and the Ottoman Empire included these textiles. The examples are so similar that even historians have a hard time telling them apart.
Really?
Yeah. So not only were they, trading things like spices and other goods, but these textiles were included in those as well.
How far apart were they?
We have this amazing map at the entrance of the exhibition that shows the change of the Venetian Republic and the Ottoman Empire over time. The Ottoman Empire was huge at one point. So as far as Constantinople, which we know as Istanbul today in Turkey, even around the Mediterranean into Africa, and the Venetian Republic expanded through Italy and into France and even into Greece, modern day Greece today. So they were very close. The Mediterranean Sea connected them. They were trading partners. Venice was really kind of the gateway to Europe for trade. So when if we think back to school, we learned about the Silk Road and how merchants traveled the Silk Road to get things like silk and spices and other things from Asia. Venice was really that point where trade would come in and then would go out through Europe, because they really controlled that Mediterranean Sea along with the Ottoman Empire.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is so exciting. I'm so glad that you have this going on, but this is for a limited time.
Yes, it's through September 1st. So visit us this summer to enjoy the exhibition.
Good.
Really think that there's something for everyone, something for people of all ages. I haven't mentioned the objects that were uncovered from a shipwreck yet.
Whoa, hold that thought, because I want to remind people, if you're just joining us, this is Focus. I'm Anna Marie, and we're talking today with Megan Rust, the interpretation director at the Frist Art Museum. Okay, now, the things that were uncovered, what happened?
So there was a Venetian merchant ship, traveling the Mediterranean Sea on its way to Constantinople, and it sunk off the coast of Croatia today. And the ship was filled with everything from brass chandeliers to glass beads, goblets, perfume bottles, glass window panes, textiles, and more. And we know this because we have the ship manifest. So we know the range of objects that were on this merchant ship. It was rediscovered. And so the objects on view in our show are more recent finds from this excavation, and it's still continuing today. They're still finding more and more things.
So when did the ship sink?
This ship sank in 1583. So these objects are over 400 years old.
And so you mentioned glass window panes and glass beads, and that's important because
Venice is known for glass making, right?
Right.
So you can think about something like Murano glass. It's a really popular type of glass. They were making this back then. Venice was known for its glass products. So there was even a diplomatic gift on the ship. So a Sultan's palace in the Ottoman Empire had partially burned, and the ambassador to the Ottoman Empire petitioned the Venetian Senate for a gift of these glass window panes. So these were actually on the ship to be given as a gift to the Sultan to help rebuild his palace.
Yeah. So he's like, the palace burned, got these great window panes on the way. Oh, this ship sank.
I'm sure they had more coming as soon as they could get a new ship out.
These are just a couple of the exhibitions that we've talked about this one. And then upcoming,
Yes.
the quilts later on, starting kind of in the fall or whatever, the end of summer.
Yes.
And kids are always involved with events at the Frist. Every time I go there, there's something going on with young people in our community.
We have programs for all ages, but we have some really fun opportunities for families and young visitors. We offer everything from workshops where you can this summer learn to make your own blended perfume, or learn about Islamic calligraphy, or learn how to make your own quilt block.
Wow.
We have our Frist Arts Fest, which is a fun festival day. We offer these three times a year, and we take over the entire campus. So we have activities in the courtyard, in the auditorium, in the galleries, and all of our studios. We have performances, art making. You can take tours. There is something for everyone. It's a really fun day. If you're looking for a lot of activities to do with your family or your friends, come for Frist Arts Fest, and you'll have a lot of fun.
And we can just look online and see when those are going to be.
Yes, and we'll have another one this fall. So if you missed our summer one, stay tuned for our fall offering and come out.
We're talking with Megan Russ, the interpretation director at Frist Art Museum. Everybody's going to find something that resonates with them, that they click with. It's not going to be the kids walking around bored and mom and dad going like, oh, look at this, it's beautiful. It's something for everyone, and that you can actually, you're one of the very few people I've ever heard actually be able to validly use that.
Well, thank you. We try, and it's great to hear that people of all ages love coming. And
yeah. And I know you didn't mention one of my very, very favorite parts of the Frist Art Museum, the gift shop.
The gift shop.
How neglectful of you.
I plugged the gift shop earlier.
Oh, you kind of did.
I did a little bit, but we do have a great gift shop. Our team does an incredible job finding amazing jewelry, fun gifts for kids, objects that kind of relate to our shows.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a birthday gift, or come to the Frist, because we've got some really cool stuff.
I noticed that I've gotten calendars, I've gotten coffee table books.
Yes.
All kinds of things that bring art into my home.
Yes.
And they bring art from other cultures that I never maybe knew existed, or art forms that I never knew existed, including, as you mentioned earlier, modern art, more local artists, modern art, kids' art often featured.
Yes.
At the Frist along the hallway.
Yes. So this summer we have our Teens Take the Frist exhibition opening in July.
Really?
Which is kids from across Middle Tennessee can submit their work to be on view. During the school year, we have art shows with school districts. There are a lot of opportunities for kids to actually show their own art in addition to coming and seeing it.
And this gives them a chance to go, my art has been at the Frist Art Museum.
Yes. And it's so amazing when we have, some older kids who maybe graduated high school or are in college now, and they come and they say, when I was in third grade, my art was on view here, and impacted me.
Wow.
So those stories are always so rewarding to hear.
Tell me, you have any other kind of success stories? People who say that they've come to the Frist and it's really impacted their lives.
I mean, if I can talk about myself,
Sure.
I am a Nashville born and raised. So I grew up here and was in high school when the Frist opened. And I actually went to college here too and had a photograph on view in an exhibition of college art majors that was probably in 2007. And so, that was a really exciting moment for me as a young person. And then years later, coming back in my career, being able to work here, I think the Frist was really instrumental in encouraging me to explore my passion for art and creativity. And as an adult, I love being able to give back to this community that, encouraged me as a young person. So people on our team, but I love thinking about our exhibitions in creative ways to help connect audiences of all types, all ages, so that they can help find something exciting.
What is one of the most important things to consider when you're trying to reach a very varied audience?
I like to use our exhibitions as a way to think of the many, many different types of experiences that we can provide. So our programs aren't formulaic. We do have some things that repeat with each show, like we'll always have a lecture where you can come and learn more from a curator or an artist themselves.
Good.
Our studio workshops, we've done everything from painting and drawing to, I mentioned the perfume workshop we have coming up. We do experiences where you can cook or try different types of food or tea. We've done performances that range from Japanese theater to modern music to dance. I say if there's something out there, we've probably done a program with it. So
Wow.
Offering that variety, I think someone may not know anything about Venice and the Ottoman Empire, for example, but they might be interested in fragrance and they see this workshop and thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to come, take that class. Mm-hmm. And then they learn something new about our history or about art while they're here.
And they learn the roles that Venice and the Ottoman Empire played in perfumes.
Yeah.
Which was?
So the spices and the scents that were exchanged via trade, things like frankincense, sandalwood, those are still used in perfume today.
Yeah.
And so in the exhibition, we have things like incense balls that were used in homes. You could put in something like frankincense with some charcoal and burn it, and then it would create smoke, and you could use it to perfume your clothes, or you could use it as a hand warmer.
Whoa.
Or you could roll it across a carpet, and it would, waft the scent through your house.
No way.
So, yeah.
Are those still used now, or was that the older way before we could just spray it in the air?
I don't know. I mean, people have incense still. You have the incense sticks that people burn in their homes.
I guess it's...
I think maybe in churches they still use these incense balls as part of like Catholic church rituals.
Okay.
So we have multi-sensory carts that we will bring out on the weekends or for special events like our Frist Arts Fest, where we have a lot of different materials for our visitors to touch or smell or listen to. And I actually found some incense balls on Etsy to put on the cart so that people can see how they work in person.
That's
because
brilliant.
you can't touch the art in the exhibition, but we have this cart for you to explore a little further.
Yeah. Can people take photos when they're in the Frist Art Museum?
They can now. Sometimes it changes based off the exhibition, but right now photos are allowed. We just ask that people turn their flash off.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What special care has to be taken? I've seen art that's, hundreds and hundreds of years old and probably very, very fragile. What kind of special care has to be taken when you bring in new exhibitions from somebody's art collection somewhere?
There's a whole field of professionals called conservators that are devoted to preservation and care of art objects. So because we don't own any of the work, we don't have those folks on our team, but we will bring them in, contract if we need to.
Yeah.
But I do know for the Venice and the Ottoman Empire exhibition, conservators in Italy, though most of the works in the exhibition came from Italy, did a lot of conservation work to get these objects ready to travel and be on view. And things like light levels and humidity are all considered when you're displaying art objects to make sure that you're doing your best to ensure that these objects are available for future generations to see and enjoy as well.
So some of the art objects and the paintings, are they hundreds of years old? Are they more modern?
From 1400 to 1800 in the Venice and the Ottoman Empire exhibition.
1400 to 1800.
Yes.
So that is that's a piece of history.
Definitely.
Not just a piece of art, but that's a piece of our cultural history that has somehow survived.
Yes. Incredible.
Yeah.
And you can see it right here in Nashville.
Yeah. We've seen some very, very famous pieces of art at the Frist Art Museum.
Yes.
And so that must mean that the Frist Art Museum has a lot of clout and a lot of respectability from people around the world for them to trust their precious art to the Frist Art Museum. I've seen some amazing things there because of that.
Well, thank you. We do our best to make sure while these objects are in our care, we are keeping them safe, and we love bringing the art of the world to Nashville. We know that not everyone can pick up and go to the Louvre or go to Turkey, for example.
No.
But you can just take a trip downtown and see something from around the world.
And if you want to do an internship, for example, at the Frist, those are open as well, right?
Yes, we have paid internships for college students, and we have a new Susan H. Edwards Curatorial Fellow. So if you're a recent graduate of college and are interested in museum careers, we offer this fellowship, which is a year-long appointment for you to really get involved in exhibition creation and other museum careers while you're at the Frist.
Did you do that, or did you just...
I didn't do an internship at the Frist. I did some other internships in undergrad and in grad school.
So that's helpful if one wants a career at a place like the Frist.
For me, an internship really allowed me to see the range of museum careers. I, in school, thought, if you work in a museum, you're a curator. Well, it's much more than that. And, a position like mine, I didn't really realize something like that existed until I started learning more about the range of roles that you can get into when you work at a museum.
So the Frist Art Museum reminds us that it's not just there's this building and there are these pictures hanging in there. The Frist Art Museum has become just like a living, changing part of our community. And I love the fact that you make sure that it continues to change and meet our needs.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We really see ourselves as a place for our community to come and find something that they'll enjoy, find a moment of relaxation, find something intellectually stimulating, spark their creativity. And so we try to think of a range of opportunities that people can explore through art.
Thank you. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
One of the things that excited me is finding out the actual size of art that I've seen maybe in books my whole life. And then I'll see one and it's like, it's like a foot across. I thought it was gigantic. Or this one is an entire wall. I had no idea because I've seen it in print. In books, it was like 4x4. Is there anything I've neglected to add? Volunteer, donate and volunteer?
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to get involved at the Frist Art Museum. We've talked about becoming a member. We love our volunteers. They're vital to our institution. If you're looking for a way to give back or to get involved, we have a range of volunteer opportunities. You can help in Martin Art Quest. You can help in guest services. You can help with administrative things. So visit our website to learn more about our volunteer opportunities.
Okay. Any final thoughts? Anything I've neglected to ask that you feel is important to add?
I'll have to mention that this November we'll have an exhibition of photographs by Sir Paul McCartney.
What?
Yes. So
we should have put that right
up front. I know. We should have put it at the top for all of our listeners out there who love music. We have a show of photographs that McCartney himself took in 1963 and 1964 when the Beatles were beginning gigs in Liverpool and London, making their first trip to the States, performing on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Wow.
It really documents that rise to fame, and it offers kind of an intimate behind-the-scenes look at the Beatles during that time, all through the lens of McCartney's camera. So it'll be a really special show. We have an audio tour that accompanies the show where you can listen to Paul talking about the photographs and his memories.
We'll put links so you can get more information, but it's also fristartmuseum.org. Megan Rust, Interpretation Director of the Frist Art Museum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you join us again next week. I'm Anna Marie, and that's Focus.